obviously on the back of security.
His Holiness, the Noble Laureate, Dalai Lama ji has arrived. There is a humble request to give a standing ovation. Please.
Hello. Good morning.
कुछ अल्फाज हमारे माननीय चीफ गेस्ट और गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर के नाम। आए वो हमारी महफिल कुछ इस तरह कि हर तरफ चांद तारे झिलमिलाने लगे। देखकर दिल उनको झूमने लगा, सबके मन जैसे खिलखिलाने लगे।
Michael, just long time.
सेक्रेटरी
नहीं सर पहले सेक्रेटरी का है, आपका नहीं है पहले सर पहले सेक्रेटरी का है, मेरे को चेंज करवाया गया।
अच्छा चेंज करवाया गया
पहले आपका है
कि इसमें मेरा पावरपॉइंट में
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On the behalf of local organizing committee, I welcome you all to this beautiful, pristine, and a vibrant valley of Palumpur. We are going to start the formal inauguration of 26th Annual Conference of Glaucoma Society of India. We feel honored to have with us the Honorable Chief Guest, His Holiness Dalai Lama Ji, who is the religious, temporal leader of Tibet and is recognized internationally as a spiritual, peace leader and a statesman. We are delighted to have our guest of honor, Padam Shri Professor Amod Gupta sir, who is a regional researcher and a world-renowned ophthalmologist. We have other distinguished guests sitting on the dais, the President GSI, Dr. Vinay Nangia, Secretary GSI, Dr. Prateep Vyas, Trader GSI, Dr. Manish Shah, Chairman Palumpur Rotary Eye Foundation, Dr. Shiv Kumar. He is a true philanthropist who has served this community for last many, many years. We have a director, CSIR, Institute of Himalayan Bioresource Technology, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, who has been kind enough to extend full support to us and extending us this beautiful venue for the conference. We have the chairman of the local organizing committee, Dr. S.K. Sharma, who is the pivot of this organizing committee where all this team worked in that area. Last but not the least, the organizing secretary, Mr. Perfectionist, Dr. S.S. Pandav, who wanted all things to be perfect and precise. Now we move on to our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony, which is a tribute to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Mother, we pray for your blessings. Give us the wisdom to make this world a better place. May all human beings live in harmony with the nature and other forms of life. May the truth prevail. I request all the distinguished dignitaries sitting on the dais to kindly accompany our chief guest and guest of honor for lamp lighting ceremony, please. Now we have a Saraswati Vandana by the students of Chand Public School. Thank you. Now I request the Secretary, Dr. Pradeep Vyas, to formally welcome the gathering and to submit his report.
The respected His Holiness Dalai Lama Ji, the chief guest of this function, Professor Amrit Gupta, the guest of honor, Dr. Vinay Nangia, the President GSI, Dr. Sharma, Chairman Organizing Committee, Dr. Pandav, the Organizing Secretary, the man behind this grand show, Dr. Shiv Kumar, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, the Governing Council member of the GSI, the Executive Council member of the GSI, and the member of the GSI, and the dignitaries on the dais, of the dais. It's my pleasure, privilege, and honor to welcome all of you for this inaugural function of 26th annual meeting of Glaucoma Society of India. We are fortunate and indeed blessed by none other than the Holiness, His Holiness Dalai Lama Ji. On this pious land of Himalaya, we are blessed by the pious hand of His Holiness, which has doubled the importance of this meeting. Sir, you might be aware that the glaucoma causes irreversible damage to the visual function, and we have more than 12 million people affected by this condition in our country. Probably this constitutes 1/5 of the world glaucoma patient. Our patients not only needs appropriate treatment for their ailments, but also healing touch and personalized care. There are many sitting here who teaches science, and sir, you are the one who preaches the word to be kind with everyone and to bring happiness for all. And the blend of these two needed for all glaucomatologists sitting over here. Sir, this is our 26th annual meeting, and it is just not only the way to share our knowledge with each other. In this education continuum, our society runs the program throughout the year. You will be happy to note that we have educated more than 4,500 ophthalmologists in the country in the tenure of this executive committee of last 2 years. Our approach is patient-centric, and to achieve our objective, we do many activities to increase awareness amongst the patient and try to make sure that every patient should get best of available treatment irrespective of his or her financial condition. Our society is fortunate to have several world-class luminaries who are the torchbearer of our country in the rest of the world. Dr. Pandav and his team did the commendable job to bring the science in this remote area. I take this opportunity to congratulate Professor Ramanjit Sihota for winning the Professor and Institute Oration Award. And thanks again for your gracious presence and blessing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for educating a lot number of ophthalmologists. I think this is the need of the hour, and we have been talking a lot about all these issues. Next, I request Dr. Vinay Nangia to give the presidential address.
Good morning, all of you. Thank you, Your Highness, Your Holiness, for being with us. It is indeed a great pleasure. Thank you, Amod, for being with us and being our guest of honor. Surinder, Pradeep, Dr. Shiv Kumar, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, and all of you. And the first thing that strikes me today are the words that say that we are the GSI, the Glaucoma Society of India. It is indeed an honor and pleasure to have been associated with the society and to have led the society for the past 2 years, actually. Pradeep already mentioned to all of you the problem of glaucoma that we have, actually. It's about 11.7 million with an aging population, and with our life expectancy likely to grow at 2 or 3 times the speed in our country. It means that the number of patients that we're going to deal with glaucoma is going to increase very rapidly over the next 2 decades. and we need to be ready for that. I think the great challenge that we faced is in creating awareness, but even a greater challenge is how do you make the doctors accessible to the patients actually. And I think many movements started house to house, and for several years we've thought about what is it that we can do by going house to house to detect not only glaucoma, but patients of uncorrected refractive error, patients of cataract, patients with visual impairment. And I think that is a real possibility that we see, because this last year, the Indian government said that they wanted to go house to house to detect diabetes actually. So I think we're going to move in that direction actually. Last year, I addressed the society and I showed a slide and I said that the cost of medical treatment per day is about 19 point some rupees. And I said that perhaps we ought to aim for bringing it down to 3 rupees. I'm truly delighted to tell you that the Jan Aushadhi shops that have been set up by the government, they are now giving Timolol at the price of 11 rupees and Bimatoprost at the price of 200 rupees actually. So all in all, the cost of 3 drugs have now come down just over the past year to just 10 rupees actually, 10 rupees a day, and that's a 50% reduction actually. I also mentioned over the last 2 years of our tenure that we need not only to create an outreach so that we diagnose, but we also need to grow as a society in terms of the research contribution that we make to science for whoever is going to inherit the earth in a sense, so that we can do something for the 1.25 billion people and more that we have here actually. And I hope that the society will proceed in that direction with great enthusiasm. I think that's all that I have to say to all of you now, and thank you all very much for being here today with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for being so precise. Now we move on to honoring our chief guest. I request Dr. Vinay Nangia and Dr. Prateep Vyas to kindly honor His Holiness with the traditional Himachali cap, shawl, and the GSI plaque. Please. Now I request Dr. S.K. Sharma to kindly give the token of love to His Holiness Dalai Lama ji. This is a traditional handmade painting which is done by one of the most renowned artists of the area, who recently got the presidential award also. Come. Thank you, sir. Now I again request Dr. Vinay Nangia and Dr. Prateep Vyas to honor our guest of honor, Padam Shri Professor Amod Gupta sir, with the traditional Himachali cap, shawl, and the GSI plaque. I request the director of IHBT to kindly present the handmade painting to Dr. Amod Gupta sir, please. Thank you, sir. Now we have an oration award, that is Professor N.N. Sood Oration Award, which is being awarded to Dr. Ramanjeet Sihota. I request His Holiness to kindly bless with this award, please. I request my friend Dr. Rohit, who has really worked very hard for this event, to introduce our guest of honor.
Good afternoon. I feel honored to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Professor Amod Gupta. He doesn't need any introduction. Professor Amod Gupta, as we all know, is the former professor of ophthalmology at Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research, PGI, Chandigarh, and currently the Professor Emeritus of Ophthalmology, Government of Punjab. He headed the Department of Ophthalmology at PGI right from 1989 up till 2015, and also had been the Dean of PGI from 2010 to 2014. He was instrumental in raising the Advanced Eye Center in 2006, which is one of the most advanced ophthalmic centers of patient care, training and research in India. Professor Gupta was among the first to start vitreoretinal surgery in the entire North India for the hitherto incurable retinal diseases and introduced the use of high technology in eye care in North India. He has been at the forefront of clinical research in ophthalmology, and especially in the field of retina and uveal diseases. In the last 30 years, his contributions have been outstanding in discovering new diseases, their clinical manifestations, and new management strategies which have brought out a paradigm shift in the management of several blinding diseases. He pioneered in setting up of the subspecialty of uveitis and intraocular inflammations in India and was the founder president of the Uveitis Society of India. He is an acknowledged international leader in ocular tuberculosis and was elected to the most prestigious, the International Uveitis Study Group in 2001. His researches on intraocular tuberculosis have been recognized internationally. A passionate teacher and researcher, he has published 346 original research papers in national and international journals, which have been extensively cited. He has co-authored books on optical coherence tomography, diabetic retinopathy, uveitis, and they are read all over the world. He has been the president of the Vitreoretina Society of India and is an honored member of many national and international societies. And he has also been honored at several innumerable national and international fora, to quote a few of them. Awards by various state and zonal ophthalmological societies, Distinguished Service Award of the Asia Pacific Academy of Ophthalmology, Dr. V.R. Khanolkar Oration Award from the National Academy of Medical Sciences, P. Sivareddy International Award of the All India Ophthalmological Society, Achievement Award 2009 of the American Academy of Ophthalmology, the first B. Patnaik Memorial Oration of the Vitreoretinal Society of India, Teacher of Teachers Award 2012 by LVP Eye Institute, Hyderabad. He was also awarded by the German Ophthalmological Society and Vigyan Ratan Award by the Punjab University, Chandigarh. And then in 2014, he was awarded the Padma Shri by the President of India, which is the fourth highest civilian award in India by the President himself. So let's welcome and let's give a big applause to our guest of honor.
Thank you, Dr. Rohit, for introducing our guest of honor. I request the guest of honor, Professor Amod Gupta sir, to kindly address.
The Dalai Lama ji, President of Glaucoma Society of India, Dr. Shiv Kumar, the Chief Trustee, and Dr. Shiv Kumar Sharma, Director of the Himalayan Institute, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, other dignitaries, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Today I feel greatly blessed and highly favored to be on the same dais in the presence of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama ji. I am grateful to Dr. Shiv Kumar Sharma and Vinay Nangya for giving me this unique opportunity and honor. I distinctly remember, almost 7 years to the day, His Holiness had blessed the annual conference of the Vitro-Retinal Society of India. I believe the Rotary Eye Hospital in Maranda has gained a very special place in the heart of His Holiness because of the tremendous amount of work that this hospital has been doing for the last more than 30 years under the very able leadership of Dr. Shiv Kumar Sharma and their trust headed by Dr. Shiv Kumar. I am so happy to note and share with you that the achievements of the Rotary Eye Hospital, Maranda, are now recognized all over the world. To me, glaucoma is a disease that is notable for being simple and at the same time hugely complex to diagnose and treat. We still do not fully understand the underlying cause, why in some patients it progresses, in some it doesn't. Is this progression continuous? Is it episodic? How best to detect? As you're all aware, it's a symptomless disease. How best to detect it? And how best to halt the progression of this blinding disease? One thing we know for sure, that certain ethnic groups are more predisposed to develop glaucoma and get blindness very soon after developing glaucoma. The question for all of you in the Glaucoma Society of India and the experts is, do we know of any ethnic groups that are immune from glaucoma? More than 30 years ago, one of my students, I think she's present in the audience, Dr. Ujjwala Chauhan, she was trying to correlate the eye pressure and the barometric pressure at high altitude of Lahore and Spiti. And she discovered, to her surprise, that population at high altitude did not seem to have glaucoma with the same frequency and severity as we see in the plains. I'm not aware if there is any data on the prevalence of glaucoma in the Tibetan ethnic population. You people have the opportunity to study several generations of Tibetan population living next door to you. This is for the benefit of the people who may not know in this audience, youngsters. This is a unique ethnic population for which for several millennia has been living at very high altitude in Tibet and are now living in relatively lower heights of Dharamsala and McLeodganj. I seek the blessings of His Holiness for not only the entire fraternity of glaucoma experts that have assembled here this morning, but also their patience. And we also seek his prayers for the everlasting peace in this nation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we will always miss your knack for research. Sir is a true researcher. Now I request Dr. Rohit to introduce His Holiness.
I feel humbled to introduce His Holiness. It is almost like showing a candle to the sun. And I don't forget that moment when I was 6 years old, when he blessed me on my head. And those vibrations are still alive in my body. His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, is both the head of state and spiritual leader of Tibet. He was born on the 6th of July, 1935, to a small farming family in a small hamlet located near Taksir, Amdo, in northeastern Tibet. At the age of 2, the child, who was named Lamo Dondup at that time, was recognized as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama, Thupten Gyatso. The Dalai Lamas are believed to be manifestations of Avalokiteshvara or Chandrazig, again, who is the Bodhisattva of compassion and the patron saint of Tibet. Bodhisattvas are enlightened beings who have postponed their own nirvana and chosen to take rebirth in order to serve the humanity. His Holiness began his monastic education at the age of 6. At the age of 25, he sat on his final examination in the Jokhang Temple, Lhasa, during the annual Monlam, which is a prayer festival, in 1959. He passed with honors and was awarded the Geshe Larampa degree, the highest level degree equivalent to a doctorate of Buddhist philosophy. In 1950, His Holiness was called upon to assume full political power after China's invasion of Tibet in 1949. In 1959, with the brutal suppression of the Tibet national uprising in Lhasa by the Chinese troops, His Holiness was forced to escape into exile. Since then, he has been living in Dharamshala, northern India, the seat of Tibetan political administration, in exile. Since the Chinese invasion, His Holiness has appealed to the United Nations on the question of Tibet. The General Assembly adopted 3 resolutions on Tibet in 1959, 1961, and 1965. In 1963, His Holiness presented a draft democratic constitution for Tibet that was followed by a number of reforms to democratize the Tibetan administrative setup. The new democratic constitution promulgated as a result of this reform was named the Charter of Tibetans in Exile. The Charter enshrines freedom of speech, belief, assembly, and movement. It also provides detailed guidelines on the functioning of the Tibetan government, with respect to those living in exile. In September 1987, His Holiness proposed the 5-point peace plan for Tibet as the first step towards a peaceful solution to the worsening situation in Tibet. He envisaged that Tibet would become a sanctuary, a zone of peace, at the heart of Asia, where all sentient beings can exist in harmony and the delicate environment can be preserved. China has so far failed to respond positively to the various peace proposals put forward by His Holiness. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, is a man of peace. In 1989, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his non-violent struggle for the liberation of Tibet. He has consistently advocated policies of non-violence, even in the face of extreme aggression. He also became the first Nobel laureate to be recognized for his concern for global environmental problems. His Holiness has traveled to more than 62 countries, spanning 6 continents. He has met with presidents, prime ministers, and crown rulers of major nations, and has held dialogues with the heads of different religions and many well-known scientists. Since 1959, His Holiness has received over 100 awards, honorary doctorates, prizes, etc., in recognition of his message of peace, non-violence, interreligious understanding, universal responsibility, and compassion. His Holiness has also authored more than 72 books. And finally, he describes himself as a simple Buddhist monk. So I'll just quote a few lines of his, which are quite apt for this gathering. He says, in order to carry a positive action, we must develop a positive vision. The purpose of our lives is to be happy. Happiness is not something ready-made. Ladies and gentlemen, here's our Dalai Lama.
Well, the time has come for which we all have gathered here. That is to seek His blessing. I request His Holiness to kindly bless the gathering, please.
Thank you.
Whenever I meet people, speak, I usually carry as my style, completely informal. I like that. Too much formality, I don't like. So, I always start, say, at the younger brothers and sisters. I believe, and also telling people everywhere, we are same human being. From birth till death, we are mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. Then important thing is, now today, everybody wants a happy life. However, a lot of problem. Actually, our own creation. Why? We too much emphasis on the basis of certain sort of differences, and then say we and they. And also, I think, to some extent, I think the 20th century, a lot of violence. Over 200 millions of people killed through violence. Because, you see, in the past, whenever we find some differences, we always feel how to solve this by force. So, First World War, Second World War, Korean War, Vietnam War, all these, the concept, we should win, they should defeat. So because of that kind of mental attitude, now today, I think today, you see, concerned people still carry that kind of sort of mental attitude, right? The reality must change. In the past, not only continent to continent, different continent, but even, you see, within the continent, you see, each different country, more or less self-sufficient. And within the country also, you see, each sort of place, more or less self-sufficient. According to that reality, then maybe sometimes destroy of other community which you feel uncomfortable, then that could be victory of yourself. Now, today's world, everything interconnected. Not only nation to nation, but also continent to continent, heavily interdependent. At the economy field also, the global economy, no national boundary, but one world. And climate condition, environment. Now whole world, see, facing certain things for entire humanity, not a crisis, not this nation or that nation or this continent, that continent. So under that circumstances, see, still we carry the past sort of way of thinking. So our perception and reality, big gap. I feel that is the source of problem. Therefore, wherever I meet people and give talk, I always talking with sort of motivation. I'm just one of the 7 billion human beings. We all 7 billion human beings all have responsibility to think about humanity, how to bring more harmonious humanity and helping each other. Whenever some little differences come there, we have to solve that with human feeling. They're also human beings, human brothers, sisters. So in a certain level, my interest, their interest, little differences. But basically, we are same human being. I must respect their interest. And they also must respect our interest. So that way, I usually call this 21st century should be century of dialogue. And through that way, you see, there is possibility we can develop this century, more peaceful century, more harmonious century. So I just, express this wherever I go. So I also, mention here. You also inspired in different sort of professions. I think you should not take only concern about I, but human being, happy human being, the good eye, good eyes. If the human being, more compassionate human being, that eye, very good. A person who always is shooting other people, I think we should pray. Such people, I think, bad eyes. then they cannot shoot. So we pray Saraswati. Of course, Saraswati, very important deity, Mantrashri and Saraswati, and so on. So my daily practice, visualization, the Saraswati, also include. So I always pray to Saraswati, our wisdom, combined with warm-heartedness, that kind of wisdom, that kind of intelligence must increase. More intelligence here, combined with anger, hatred, and then very dangerous. I think Saraswati has some responsibility, make distinction. Oh, such people, wonderful. So her blessing must go. And such people, so like that. So therefore, everybody have the responsibility to create happier world, peaceful world. It is possible. Now some scientists say basic human nature is more compassionate. Few occasions, now over 30 years, I have sort of serious discussion with scientists. So many occasions, so some scientists now, they say through their investigation, experiment, they concluded basic human nature is more compassionate. Obviously, the medical scientists, they say constant fear, constant anger, hatred, it actually eating our immune system. So, for physical health also, you see, these negative emotion is very, very harmful. Other hand, constant feeling of compassion or sense of concern of other. More sense of concern of other, there, trust come. Trust is basis of our friendship. We are social animal. We need friends, friendship. So, some of the politicians or leaders or some sort of billionaire may have, of course, some friends, more friends. But these friends actually friend of that person, but friend of their power, their money. So long money there, so long power there, more people smiling. When the person's fortune goes this way, then these people will not bother you. Genuine friendship, as a true human brothers, sisters, then when you're passing through more difficulties, then these friends ready to come to you, help. That's a genuine friend. So genuine friendship must develop on the basis of trust. In order to develop trust, you must respect their right and show your genuine sense of concern of their well-being. So now, since this is many scientists, some scientists now say that, and also according to our sort of our own experience, more compassionate mind, actually, you create sort of genuine inner peace. Money, power. If may I say so, there's some professions like eye specialist. Without inner peace, sometimes it may not sort of help much. Ultimately, it's the warm-heartedness is the key factor, and your profession, showing, caring with patience, with genuine sense of concern of their well-being. Of course, everybody, I think, have the experience when we get some treatment in hospital. The doctors and nurses, sometimes they come as a duty, not much human feeling. And sometimes, we feel, a little bit, because of that uneasiness. When nurses, doctors, you see, come, showing genuine human affection, then you really feel more confidence or much more comfortable. So human, the affection is very, very important. So I'm one patient of eye problem. Here, one my doctor, he often used to come, and also the cataract. That also, you see, few years ago, you see, removed. So when the doctor really showed me their love, their affection, I feel very happy. One occasion, many years ago, in Calcutta or somewhere, also in China, you see, the doctor come, maybe very expert, but without a smile. treat you like machine or some article. Yes. When someone used to repeat this, no need smile, just. when you get some treatment, you see, the human feeling must be there. Then it becomes human action. Without that, maybe great expert, but without that, something lacking. So I want to share. And then, now last 57 years, I a refugee, political asylum, come to this country, and then Pandit Nehru there, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and Radha Krishna, and many others are leaders. You see, they're very, very kind to us, not only me, but about 100,000 Tibetan refugees. So then, the point which I want to say is, last 57 years in this country, I think much development, education field, and certain sort of technology or certain sort of professions, I think much development. Wonderful. Now I want to say one thing. Firstly, one of my commitments. When you introduce me, so you didn't mention 2011, or actually 2001, we already achieved elected political leadership. Since then, my position is a semi-retired position. Then 2011, I totally retired from political responsibility. now no longer as a political leader or temporary leader.
You are my leader. You will always be my leader.
And then another sort of till my death, one of my commitment is promotion of religious harmony. That I learned from this country. Over 2,000 years, beside homegrown different religious tradition. You see, in philosophical field, there are differences. Because of the prayer, right? The Saraswati. You see, you also carry something. Soul, you mentioned it.
The eyes are the mirror of the soul.
Soul. I'm Buddhist, as you mentioned, simple Buddhist monk. Simple Buddhist monk in the philosophical field. Yes, I'm student of Nalendra's great sort of scholars, masters. So through centuries, there's a lot of discussion. What is the reality? External, as well as oneself, internal, oneself. What is the consciousness? What is the self? So a lot of discussions. So I am the student of these different theories. So I do not believe existence of soul. Soul means Atma. Buddhist concept, Anatma. So in the philosophical fields, you see, there's big differences. In spite of that, all carry message of love. Same. In this country, I think, beside homegrown different religious tradition, the Zoroastrian religious tradition come from ancient Persia and settle. I really sort of amazing way. Amazing. In Bombay, the Parsi community, very small, less than 100,000. But no fear. Very, very happy. I think millions of non-Parsi. No threat. They carry their own sort of tradition. So India, as a whole, I think religious harmony is wonderful. There's something really living example. We can show the rest of the world. Religious harmony is very possible in this country. Sometimes I jokingly telling this country over 1 billion populated nation, among the billion population, there are some mischievous people must be there. India is land of human being, not God and goddesses. So therefore, there's some mischievous people, it's understandable. But overall, India's picture, I think really religious harmony is wonderful. So since in this country, over 2,000 years, religious harmony there. So why not the rest of the world? You see, can follow, can develop religious harmony. So this is one thing. So please, my Indian brothers, sisters, please pay more attention these religious harmony, and your younger generation now should carry this tradition, something very important. And then not only preserve within our own country, but now show rest of the world, particularly now in Arab area, in these countries where the conflict in the name of religion, terrible, unthinkable. So I think India's tradition is something not only just one ancient tradition, but also very relevant to today's world. Then thirdly, another point I want to mention to you, all our knowledge, not quite hot, all our knowledge used to come from India. I may say, the sound looks kasa, so presumptuous. You see, when I met scientists or some scholars, some spiritual practitioner, some spiritual leaders, and so on, you see, people from different sort of profession. So I can talk with these people, and sometimes I may sort of, sometimes I create, so sometimes I sort of, what to say, very general way, a little challenge also. Challenge, isn't it? So some occasion, you see, some scientists, you see, when they are sort of also the particular field, when they present that, you see, as a scholar, expert, so they presentation with full sort of what's it, confidence. When we listen carefully, there are some little contradictions here and there. Then afterward, you see, with respect and very general way, raise the question, if you stated that and also state that, if that is true, here, little sort of contradiction. Then usually you see, those scholars, so when I raise some questions, then they say, I have to think more seriously. So all this, not my brain is something special, but because knowledge which we learned about knowledge of Nalanda tradition. That's India's tradition. So from my own little experience, these ancient Indian sort of tradition or Indian knowledge about emotion, about mind, and how to tackle our emotion. These knowledge, although come from religious sort of field, religious tradition, but we should not consider these are part of religion. This should take out as an academic subject. If remain or put within the Hindu tradition or Buddhist tradition, then the other traditions not so direct link. And then also non-believer, today's world, humanity, 7 billion human beings. Out of 7 billion, over 1 billion non-believer. So these also human brothers, sisters. They also is passing through a lot of difficulties about mental crisis. So these ancient Indian knowledge, you see, I think very, very helpful. Now many scientists, after 30 years of serious discussion, we learned many useful information about a particle, including quantum physics. Wonderful. Then, you see, the ancient Indian sort of psychology, the clear, so precise knowledge about emotion, different emotion, and then the method to tackle these emotions. Many scientists really very much appreciate. So now I want to say, I'm telling in these countries, in many occasions. Now, here also I want to mention, your traditional knowledge about our inner world is something very relevant to today's world. All these problems, actually, this violence, the first start here. Anger, hatred, fear. So, we really need external disarmament. Before external disarmament, we need internal disarmament. So therefore, the prayer, everybody, every believer pray. Sometimes I'm Buddhist, I also pray. But in the terms of world, because of the world affair, I don't think prayer can do something. One occasion in Hiroshima, one Nobel laureate, peace meeting where? Peace summit. So some other Nobel laureate, you see, in their sort of speech, they mentioned, due to God's bless, world become peace. Then my turn, I express, if just God's bless or Buddha's bless, you see, bring on this planet peace, then this planet, right from the beginning, must be peaceful. So logically, the wars, violence, who created these? Not by God, but we, human beings. So our responsibility. So I mentioned, peace must come through our own action, not through prayer. So in this respect, I think India's tradition, knowledge about our mind, emotion, and the method to tackle, including meditation, shamatha, vipassana. You see, these, I think, we should take not as a religious sort of practice, but I usually call hygiene of physical, usually there. So now we should add hygiene of emotion. In that respect, using these knowledge, and also certain sort of certain method which we call shamatha and vipassana. There is just a method how to bring inner peace, how to tackle these sort of say, destructive emotion. So please, my respected Indian brothers, sisters, please pay more attention about this ancient yoga knowledge, which is something very relevant to today's world. World need these ancient Indian knowledge. So sometimes modern Indian, too much westernized, materialistic. So please, some younger generation, some younger sort of brother, sister there, please pay more attention about your ancient knowledge. These things, very, very important. So that's all, thank you. I very much appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you, His Holiness, for enlightening us regarding the humanity, human values, general friendship. I think we need to learn a lot more. Now I request Dr. S.S. Pandav to kindly give the vote of thanks.
I think after listening to His Holiness, it's very hard to say anything more. And also, I don't want to disturb the peace that you must be feeling in your heart and the compassion that has been generated in this hall. But I have a duty to perform, a very pleasant duty indeed, to thank you all for being here today. This is a very proud moment for me and kind of a dreams come true moment, because this was my dream and also dream of Dr. S.K. Sharma, the chairman of the LOC, that we wanted to hold this meeting here, and this has happened today. So thank you all for giving us this opportunity. On behalf of Glaucoma Society of India Organizing Committee and also the GSI Executive Committee, we are very grateful to our guest of honor, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to bless this conference here and be with us this morning. And I'm sure you have, you're just feeling so blessed as I'm feeling at the moment. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion. And I'm also very thankful to our guest of honor, Professor Amod Gupta. He's always a leading light for us, and we always fall back on him for any advice and difficulties, and he's always very kind to us to guide us into what we should do. And in fact, the glaucoma services that we run at PGI, he only initiated me into that, and what I'm doing is now basically I'm just extending his clinic a bit further so that it continues and it flourishes, and trying my best to basically fill into his steps, which is a very, very hard thing to do. Probably you don't know, before he went full-time to retina, he used to do glaucoma. And that's why he's so much into this and he's so compassionate about this topic and this subject. Organizing committee is particularly indebted to Professor Sanjay Sharma, Director, ISBT, not only for allowing this beautiful venue, giving this venue to us, but also his full support in terms of infrastructure and logistics. And his senior professors here are actually working full-time, day and night with us, so that this becomes a successful, particularly Dr. Wirtz, who is there in the audience. I'm also thankful to the chairman, Rotary Eye Foundation, Dr. S.K. Sharma. He has always been very supportive of these activities and always a leading light in this field. In fact, this Eye Research Foundation here, Rotary Eye Research Foundation, was started by him and has served humanity in this region in Himalayan terrain, which is difficult. With the help of the staff, the guidance of Dr. S.K. Sharma, with Rohit and Sudhir, they're doing a commendable job, and I thank you, sir, for supporting us wholeheartedly. We are particularly very thankful to our national and international faculty who has traveled long distances and have actually, put up with the very difficult flight and journey itineraries and schedules, some cancellations, some delays, but none of them has dropped out. They all came, and we are so thankful to you that you are here, because without your support, your commitment, and your presence here, this conference couldn't be done, and even if it was done, it wouldn't have been that meaningful. And also, finally, I must thank my sponsors who have contributed wholeheartedly so that we could put up this show. Thank you all very much. While organizing such events, some shortcomings would happen, some mistakes would happen, and I just hope that you have noticed them. And if you have noticed, please forgive us for that. A very big thank you to all of you. Jai Hind.